On this episode, we chat about our recent trip to Central Florida, which included our first stay at Swan Reserve, a mocktail lounge crawl, Halloween treats, and 2 nights at the Orlando Informer Meetup at Universal Orlando Resort. Today's August 16th, 2024, and this is episode 694 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service.
So on today's episode, we are talking all about our fun trip that we had. Staying at a new place, eating lots of Halloween food.
Oh my gosh, we did a lot.
Time. Yeah,
we did a whole lot. And it all came about very last minute. So
yes.
we went down, let's see, it would have been the 8th to 11th, just this past weekend.
Yes, right before school started here in St. Johns County and Duval County, actually.
Yeah, so we actually decided that Sunday before, just a couple days before, that we would head down, and we were looking around. We booked Swan Reserve, so we'll talk about that, and then some last minute plans came up that we'll talk about. So we ended up staying another night, but we jam-packed this trip because we had a lot of things on our list to do. So
I'm tired just thinking about it.
Oh, I know, right?
But it was so fun.
We're home for 2 weekends.
Kids are all back in school,
yep.
and I know just not the counties, but so I guess this year, good luck with everybody, teachers that we know and students that are back in school.
Yeah. Here's to a great school year.
Yes.
We've got 2 high schoolers.
Yes, we do.
Which is absolutely crazy.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's start and talk about Swan Reserve, right?
Super excited. It is right across the street from Swan and Dolphin. It is to your left when you're coming in. Beautiful resort. It is right there next to Fantasia Gardens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Golf course.
Yep.
Actually, if you want to go there, you need to park at the Swan Reserve.
Yeah.
And they will validate your parking for you.
They will. Yeah. They will validate your parking for if you're playing putt-putt there.
Yes.
They will not validate it if you're staying at the resort.
No.
Which is just so weird to me.
Yeah.
And we'll include all those numbers. But this is one of the newer resorts. This is a Marriott property, and it is part of the Swan and Dolphin family.
Gosh, it really opened back in 2021.
I did not realize that it had been November will be 3 years since this opened. Wow. I really thought it was less than that.
I did too.
So it just shows how time flies.
Yes,
but
it does.
It took us a little while to get here.
Yeah.
But we can cross this one off our list because this is actually on Disney property.
Yes, it is.
And along with the Swan and Dolphin, and like Rhonda said, these are just separated by a street.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Swan Reserve is just about as close to the Dolphin as the Swan is to the Dolphin.
Yes.
Like, I think what I didn't realize, we had been over here before, just to kind of walk through the lobby, look at it.
Right.
And we've been up to the pool bar before. One time we met Kat and Michael and Jessica and Landon, and
yes.
and had some drinks and some food and stuff. But I didn't actually realize that it really is all this one giant resort property of Swan, Dolphin, Swan Reserve. I thought it just felt like it was going to be further away. Yeah. But the only reason it does is because there is a street to cross, right?
But it is at a light, and then there are street buttons to push so you can go across.
Yeah, there's crossing. There's perfect crossing. But just it's all part of this one giant resort, which is really, really cool. Yep. And one of the best parts is that when you're staying at Swan, when you're staying at Dolphin, when you're staying at Swan Reserve, you can think of those as all one entire resort because all the amenities are shared amongst those three. Mm-hmm. In fact, if you go to the Swan Reserve restaurant, or I'm sorry, if you go to the Swan Reserve website, when it lists dining, it
lists
includes everything
okay.
at Swan and Dolphin and vice versa. So
Yeah.
it really is this giant resort, making it one of the largest resorts on Disney property.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you think about it, because this is legit Disney property right there by the boardwalk area.
Yes, it is.
So I absolutely love it. This is considered a deluxe resort.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed in a standard room.
We did.
They do have some suites. And we got a king room.
Yes, we did. Which pulls out. There's a couch that pulls out to a full bed, so they can sleep four.
Yeah. So these standard rooms here are about 330 square feet.
Pretty nice size.
They feel bigger, a lot bigger, and we'll have you go through the room layout. I think they feel a lot bigger than when you look at. This is only 16 square feet larger than the Disney moderate resorts. The room feels bigger than most of the moderate resort rooms.
It does.
I think based on the way they lay out and the decor, all of that.
Yeah.
And then a standard room over at the Dolphin even is 30 square feet bigger at 360.
Wow.
And if I go back in my memory bank to the last time we stayed at Dolphin, which has been a little while,
and they have
that room feels a heck of a lot smaller.
They have full-size beds.
They do. Swan has queens. Right. Dolphin has full size. This, you can either get 2 queens or you can get the king and then get the pull-out full sofa. Yeah. So I don't think it was just the fact that we had that sofa in our room that made this room feel so much larger. But talk about the layout of the room and the pros and cons, because I think we really have, 1 con, maybe 2. I'll tell you the con if you don't think of it.
I'm not sure about the con yet.
But let's say there's barely any. This is one of my favorite rooms on Disney property now. It moves up into the top 5.
What?
I loved this room. And our view didn't hurt because you do have Epcot views and you have other views. Now, most of the other views, depending on what floor you're on, are still going to see some stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Talk about the room layout. Talk about our view.
Okay. Gosh, you got me all kind of twisted up. All right.
I'm just excited. I'm excited to talk about this resort.
Yes.
I loved it.
When you walk into the room, immediately to your left is a barn door with your entire bathroom set. Toilet, glass shower, and 1 sink.
First con, and maybe only con, is the individual sink for a deluxe resort. And I think a bathroom of this size
could
have been rearranged a little bit and could have been 2 sinks. But again,
or more countertop.
Yeah, or more countertop space. More storage
space. Because my brush fell off and I lost it because I remember it falling off. I didn't pick it up immediately, and I think it fell underneath the sink area, and I forgot about it.
Yeah, but nice stand-up shower.
Yeah, very nice.
Again, you have toilet, sink, and shower all within the same bathroom. We see a lot of splits in those.
Yeah.
Shoot, even when you get to the values,
which sometimes that's nice.
But I think I would trade the rest of the room size and layout feel to keep this bathroom as 1 condensed space, because if you added a second sink or if you separated the toilet and shower, I think you would lose more space in the main living area, right? So I'm cool with it, but that's just one little con.
Well, and then after that, the bathroom, the rest is just large and wide open. You have your king bed. You have under the bed storage. You have you have a whole long counter space of not only a desk and a chair, because it is a convention, but you have, like your drawers if you want to unpack, your refrigerator, and
it's a larger mini fridge. There's not any sort of freezer component to it, but it is larger and more of a fridge than the, air quote, beverage coolers that they've put into the standard rooms on Disney-owned resorts, right?
And then it's very, very large TV. And
it's the biggest TV I've seen in a room. I didn't measure it.
It looks like this one.
It's at least 70. This is a 55 in my office that we're staring at.
You think it was bigger than that?
Oh,
okay.
God, yeah.
Okay.
It was at least 70.
Well,
I think.
Then you have the couch, and then you have ottoman and like a little nice table, and then how do you say it? Floor to ceiling, beautiful windows.
Yeah. I
so that was really, really cool.
And I mean, we had a view directly. We're on the 8th floor. We had a view directly looking down into Swan Dolphin. Right beyond that is the
Epcot.
Boardwalk Yacht and Beach Club. A beautiful view of Spaceship Earth. Only thing you can't see is Cosmic Rewind because it's so well hidden in camouflage by the blue paint. Couldn't even see it. It was perfect.
And then over to your left, when you're staring out that floor to ceiling window, is teeny tiny, which is funny because where we are, of course, it looks teeny tiny, but is Magic Kingdom, and you can see the Contemporary. You can see
see
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain, yeah.
Yep.
See Space Mountain. You can see the top of the castle, and it makes you realize. Not that you didn't already know, but when you have a visual like that, it just makes you realize how huge Walt Disney World is.
Oh, 100%.
You know, when you're looking over going, is that the castle? It's like a 1/4 inch tall. Think about the size.
Yeah.
And then what is over to your right, of course.
Well, we couldn't see it where our room was located in the way, but it is obviously Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So
and then on the other side, you got Animal Kingdom.
Yep.
So we did get a little view on the 15th floor, on the top floor. They have an event space, and it's beautiful. They have an indoor event space. It has an outdoor deck area as well. And when you are up there, you can see all 4 parks as you go from like one side as you walk around it. It's incredible.
It is incredible.
It's
and it is
amazing.
literally called the View.
Yeah. VUE though.
Yes.
So a little clever.
Super, super cool. This resort is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, just like Jeremy was saying, how it all is one. They each do have their own pools though. So they do have a nice little quiet pool basically, and then you have the big deluxe pool that is at Dolphin, but you can share. And basically, it was again right down, like looking out our window. We just looked straight down, and there was the big giant pool.
I mean, what was crazy to me when you look at the big grotto pool, right, the main area that you're talking about, which we don't include Swan Dolphin Swan Reserve in a lot of our rankings when we talk Disney resorts because they're not owned by Disney.
Right.
But this, in my opinion, if we were to, probably maybe falls only second behind Stormalong Bay.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'd agree.
Maybe it goes behind some other, Disney owned resort pools, but not far. It's top 5. It's an incredible pool area. And what's amazing, if you are on the 8th floor where we were, the time that it will take you to go from your room down the elevator and be at the pool entrance is the exact same amount of time. I'm guessing, we didn't time it, but it looks like it, as it would take you if you were coming from the 8th floor at the Swan or the 8th floor at the Dolphin, which I thought was really, again, it shows that the pool is so centralized to those 3 resorts.
Yeah.
The way that everything is set up, which I just thought was really cool.
Well, another awesome part about the Swan Reserve is it's not ginormous like I feel like Swan and Dolphin is.
No, it's not.
But they have so many elevators that we were barely on an elevator with anybody else for one.
Once or twice. I think we did twice. Once with a guest, and then the second time we did with a
cast member,
which they still do refer to them as cast members.
They do.
We'll talk about some pricing and a few other things, but I don't want to forget the part of this. The Swan Reserve, to me, tell me if you feel the same. It definitely feels, because it is smaller, because it is newer, because it has this certain decor and vibe, it feels more like a boutique hotel. For example, the pool is on the 3rd floor where most everything is. The lobby and all is up there. Like restaurants and stuff are up there. It feels much more elegant. It does, to me, feel more adult driven. For example, the way the pool is, it is on the 3rd floor. It's kind of contained. It's got the bar and all right there. It has some nice outdoor space. It's all ages, but it feels very adult only.
I agree.
The same way to me that it felt when we went to the Wave Hotel in Lake Nona.
Yes.
Right? Doesn't it have that?
Yes, it does.
This hotel feels like
they
the
should
Wave
have
in
bidets.
Lake Nona. Every hotel should have bidets. Let's be honest with that one.
That's funny.
Let's talk about some pricing.
Okay.
Now, this is not included in the current annual pass holder discounts that are included at Swan and Dolphin.
Okay.
They're not offering that here. Again, it is a Marriott resort, so if you have points, you could certainly use those. Of course, you can use
Absolutely.
our travel advisors.
Please do.
And they can book you here. That's what I
Yes.
would recommend. I
Yep.
mean, again, if you have points, that's what you're going to use. But, so think about doing that. But we got very lucky because for the 2 nights, ours was $585 with taxes.
Okay.
And that included the resort fee as well, which we'll break out in a second.
Yes.
But so that was actually on the very, very low end.
Yes.
And that was like a rate we could not pass up.
Right.
And that was for a Thursday to Saturday.
Yes.
Now, looking ahead, for example, September 13th to 15th, I just picked that. It's my birthday weekend.
Okay.
So I thought, what if we went to the Swan from Friday to Sunday, Swan Reserve, Friday to Sunday, the traditional guest room, 2 queens with 0 view,
Mhm.
which is going to be on that opposite side of
Right.
Epcot. $309 is your base rate. Okay, a night. All right.
It's not bad. It's just hard when you're going to, and let's go ahead and talk about the resort fee and your parking. It's not bad. $309 a night is not bad, especially for all that, except you have to add $45 for a resort fee and $36 if you're going to self-park. If you do have some extra money and you wanted to splurge, it is $44 for valet.
Yeah. So,
So
you're looking at
you're-
$80
Yep.
added on. So now you're looking at $389 a night. And again, that's only if you have a vehicle.
Correct.
But $389 a night, you are still well under the range of most deluxe resorts. In fact, a lot of times now we're looking in the low 300s for a Caribbean beach.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
If you want that same room, but you want the view that we had, which is the Epcot view, that's still the 2 queens. That's $343 a night.
And I would
And go ahead and add those
highly
fees.
suggest that.
I'd pay the money for the view. in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Because I think the coolest part is, and again, we're jumping ahead, but you do get to see fireworks from Illuminous, is it?
Yeah.
And then, of course, Magic Kingdom. What's really cool is because we are close enough to Epcot, you actually do hear the booms from the fireworks, which I like.
Yeah.
Obviously, you do not hear them from Magic Kingdom.
No. Like I said, that's too far away. Moving out a little bit into just say November, and this was actually going to be the 15th to 17th, and I only picked that because we'll be at Jollywood Nights that weekend.
Okay.
But what if we were to stay here? It's elegant.
And you can
right?
walk.
You can walk to Hollywood. You're looking at that traditional guest room, 2 queens with no view for $403.
Up
And
there.
then you're looking at the traditional Epcot view with that same 2 queens for $437.
Again,
So
I
now
think
we're
I'd
breaking
pay that
into
money.
I would too, but we're breaking into the over $500 a night range.
Yeah, because then you still have to add
Mhm.
your resort and parking.
Yeah. And I will say it is worth every penny.
Yeah.
The only reason we bring it up is because A, you need to know there's a resort fee,
Oh, 100%.
and you need to know that there is a parking fee if you're bringing a car.
Yeah.
B, we just hate the way that some of the resorts do this. We just, to me, it feels like a bait and switch. Now, when
Yeah.
you're looking at, for example, a Marriott property, if you were looking on Marriott's website, which there's really no need for you to do because you just contact one of our travel people. But if you were, there is a button that you can click that will show that rate with taxes and fees
Nice.
so that you can see,
That's
so you don't
nice.
get sticker shock when you get to the end at
Correct.
checkout. It won't include parking. That is something that you will pay once you get there.
Mhm.
So just something to note for that. Again, go through our travel advisors if you are looking, because during the week, and I can only assume, because this has been a thing at Swan Reserve, I can only assume because of the convention space, this is the way they do it. They want you to call or they want you to use somebody else like an agent. These rooms show at $1,200 to $3,000 a night. It's really
Holy
weird.
crap.
Like, for example, I went and looked at that same, the weekend is 13th to 15th in September, right?
Right.
I looked at that Monday through Wednesday, and the same room showed at $1,200 a night.
Holy
Isn't
moly.
that crazy, the way that it does that?
I don't understand.
I
but
think
yeah.
if I remember correctly, and I know somebody can correct me because I will be wrong. I'm not going to say if. I know I'm wrong. I believe they release more accurate rates right near the time, but I also do wonder if this has something to do with the convention aspect. Because, I mean, a lot.
Could you imagine being like, oh, yeah, I'll pay it?
I cannot.
I mean,
For the price you could get many other things.
Right.
No, I cannot. All right, let's talk about the transportation next. Actually, you know what? First, what perks do they get being a deluxe
Yeah,
on property resort, even though they're not owned by Disney?
Yeah,
right?
because this is great. You do get early theme park entry.
Mm-hmm.
You also get to buy your Lightning Lanes 7 days. And if there's extended evening theme park hours, you get to go to that.
Yeah.
So
when you think
really good.
Yeah, when you think of the other areas that you know, like Bonnet Creek, right? Or Disney Springs even, you go, oh man, these are like right by Disney, or they're right on Disney property, you know, kind of proper. They don't get a lot of these same perks.
Right.
You know, they get some of them, but not all of them. So those are some big perks for staying on here. You get those regular Disney deluxe ones. All right, let's talk about transportation. What do you do if you are headed to Epcot or to Hollywood Studios? So again, be prepared for this.
Yes, if you are headed to either one, you have to walk. There is no buses. So when you do come out of the Swan Reserve, out of the big, beautiful rotating glass,
Okay,
which you...
Let's stop. Can we stop with the rotating glass doors, please? They serve zero functional purpose.
They
They look
pretty,
cool.
though.
They look cool. I'll give you that. But they serve zero purpose, especially this one, because it is much smaller than the ones at Swan and Dolphin. I'm thinking specifically of Dolphin, has a much larger one with only 2.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it only has
Okay.
2 entry points, so they're much wider. This has 4. This is broken in. This is like a quad. So every time I walk into this dang thing, first you have to shuffle your feet because you can't, and you have to try and balance between the front and the back of the glass, or it's going to stop on you. I felt bad for the guy who tried to take a stroller through it. So I just started because they have doors on either side.
Yes, they do.
And they have the button to press so they open automatically. So that's what I used. But let's stop, guys. Okay, here's 2 things I want anybody who's listening who's in construction or design for hotels, whatever it may be, right? 2 things to stop. Let's quit with the frickin' rotating doors,
Okay.
right? And let's quit with the hand dryers.
Oh, yeah. I hate
They don't
hand
work,
dryers.
and they just blow poo all over the bathroom. We know that. They've done scientific
Yes, they have.
testing of it. I'm pretty sure it was probably on Mythbusters and just poo everywhere. So I walk out and I dry on my hands, or I go to the nearest place that has like napkins or something to dry off, because I'm not trying to blow poo.
Right.
So I'm just doing my service there. But yes, you can either walk.
Yeah. So anyways, when you come out when you're coming out and you turn to your right and go down and follow the sidewalk, and then it's covered down around the corner to your right is your buses, and it shows a bus for Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Disney Springs. And at one point I was like, where's Epcot and Hollywood? Is it around the corner? And then I was like, oh my goodness, wait a minute.
That's
no,
right.
you have to, when you come out, you have to turn left to walk down, across the street, down through the boardwalk area and everything like that. You can go to the Friendship boats. That is probably your closest, which would be right there at Dolphin.
Yeah.
You can get on that.
And just if you're thinking about going like distance to boats, and the boats will take you to Epcot or to Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
But if you're wondering, like, okay, well, we don't mind walking, right? Which we don't. We walked to it from Epcot. One time we did take the Friendship boat.
Yes, we did.
It is only 0.2 miles down to the Friendship boats. Okay?
Right, which is about 1,000 feet.
Yeah. If you were looking at walking to International Gateway at Epcot, you're looking at about 0.8 miles.
Okay.
And if you're looking at walking to DHS along the waterway there behind Boardwalk, you're looking at a mile.
Okay.
So just something to note. All right, let's talk a little more about the boats then, the Friendship boats.
Yeah, because you can get on them, and we haven't been on them in a long time. We did
Very
go
long.
down. We actually passed Dolphin and went down to Boardwalk. And when you go down to Boardwalk, there's 2 sides. I'm assuming it's the same as the Dolphin, where you can either go straight to Hollywood or it stops at Epcot. So I forgot they were air conditioned, like inside.
Oh yeah.
And very large and very nice.
Yeah, they are.
So that was really cool. We did do that. And that's probably what I would suggest, because you can get strollers on there. You can, get out of the heat.
Yeah.
But, if you're staying in the cooler times, it is, I think personally, a beautiful walk.
It's a great walk.
We
Either way.
love it.
Yep. Whether you're going to Epcot or Hollywood.
Yep.
Now the boats will run 30 minutes prior to park opening and then 1 hour after park close. If there is inclement weather, they will provide buses to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, but those are only going to go from Swan and Dolphin, not from Swan Reserve. So you would still need to, with inclement weather, you would still need to walk down to Swan or Dolphin to catch a bus if the boats are not running for any reason, right?
So you'd still get wet.
Yes, you would.
So pack a umbrella and a rain jacket.
Of course. All the time when you're coming to Florida.
Right.
No matter what time of year it is.
100%.
What about if you're getting to Magic Kingdom?
So we did. We went to Magic Kingdom on the bus. We did not go to Animal or we did not go to Springs, but we did go to Magic. Your bus runs about 25 to 35 minutes, depending. I would say it might be 15. It might, I guess, just the way things are running. The unfortunate part is it does not take you to pretty much the gates. It takes you to TTC.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Shades of Green drops off there. I think, what else did we see?
Well, there's a whole bunch. Everything drops off. All resorts that are not Disney buses drop off at TTC.
Yeah.
And now the difference is this does have a bus for Magic Kingdom. And it does have a bus for Animal Kingdom. And it does have a bus for Disney Springs. We've talked about in the past, some of these that you get out a little bit further, they're going to only drop you off at TTC, and then you have to make your way to wherever else you want on property. This is not that reason. The reason it drops off at TTC is because coming out of the COVID area, I don't know if this was specifically when Swan Reserve was built or what, but whoever the powers that be, whether it's at Marriott or whatever, decided not to pay Disney anymore for use of their buses. Therefore, they went on their own and they're using Mears buses, which means you're getting coach buses.
Which the bus that we got was an old Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
Because they took all the circles off of the windows, but when you got on, and by the way, we had a private bus, Jeremy and I had this giant coach bus that had every seat was Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah, the fabric was the Disney Cruise Line logo and anchors and stuff. So used to be one of those, but
super cool.
But that's the reason that it's operating this way.
Yeah.
Is that they're paying Mears instead of Disney. I guess it was cheaper to pay Mears.
And that's understandable, but it does drop you off just so you're aware, so you have that extra time. But if you would like to save time in that aspect and you don't want to take a bus from a boat from TTC or a monorail, you can walk over through to the boardwalk area and get on a Magic Kingdom bus there, and it will take you straight to...
Yeah, if you wanted to walk all the way down to Boardwalk. And really, if you look at it, the potential time saver between walking to Boardwalk and going direct to the front gates of Magic Kingdom, it really could save you time over just going down to the Swan Reserve and then going to TTC, having to wait for a boat, having to wait for a monorail. For Animal Kingdom, same thing. Buses every 25 to 35. Now, this is going to drop off at the rideshare area, which as you're exiting Animal Kingdom, buses are to the right, rideshares to the left. To be honest, the rideshare is actually a little bit closer
I was
potentially than the buses.
Yeah.
Right? And then Disney Springs is going to drop you off at the west side over there near House of Blues.
Okay.
So that is right there, House of Blues, Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
There's rideshare options over there as well on the west side.
Yep.
It's a pretty good drop-off area. You're not really losing out there, depending on where you want to go.
Absolutely.
That's usually the side we're visiting anyway, right?
Correct.
Now, buses are going to run 45 minutes prior to park opening and 1 hour after park close. Let's talk a little bit about the dining, and we're just going to talk about what's specifically available within the Swan Reserve building.
Okay.
Right? We'll start with the Mare, which is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is a Mediterranean-inspired signature restaurant. It's casual but upscale and features seafood, pastas, and pitas, as well as an extensive wine list.
And we did not eat here yet.
We did not. And we'll wrap up the Swan Reserve stuff here in a second. We'll kind of tell you why we didn't eat here probably. They also have grounds, which is in all these, this is basically right next to Amare. Everything is within the lobby area on the 3rd floor. They're all very convenient, very, very close.
Yep.
This is your grab and go dining location. This is going to do craft coffee, sandwiches, pastries.
Which we got a craft coffee every single morning.
Very good.
Very, very good.
Yep. This also has a lot of alcoholic options if you want that. Like a ton of them. I mean, honestly.
I'm just sorry. I'm laughing because we were standing there and they had Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
Which was, to me, a smaller bottle for $100.
Yeah. You were better off doing the math. They have a bunch of the on the rocks, which are the pre-mix, like they did old fashioned espresso martini. They have stuff like that. I want to say they ran about $26 for one of those. But you'll probably get about 3 good drinks out of it. So it's actually cost effective in that manner. Okay. But the stuff is there, right?
Yeah.
Finally, you got Tangerine and Stir. These are the poolside bars. Tangerine being on the outside, actually, by the pool.
Yep.
And then it basically backs up with a wall to Stir, which is right there inside the lobby. These are quick service dining locations serving signature drinks and casual fare like burgers and sandwiches. We'll talk more about that in a few.
Yep.
Let's wrap up our thoughts on Swan Reserve.
I love it. It was gorgeous. I look forward to staying here again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard with that, just like Swan and Dolphin too. Like, I love all of them. It's just hard to almost add $100 every time.
Yeah.
Because when we do see like, ooh, sweet, it's $300. Oh wait, no, it's $400.
Yeah.
That's the only hard part, but it is fantastic. I absolutely love it. I forget I miss this area until we stay here.
The whole boardwalk area is just absolute gold.
Yes.
Let's just say you had an opportunity, all in. Let's take parking out of it because a lot of people don't need to pay for the parking. We'll just talk resort fee at Swan Reserve. But let's just say you could stay at Swan Reserve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to come out after the resort fee, taxes, your room rate. It was going to come out to $350 a night.
Absolutely.
Right? Well, I didn't finish.
Oh.
Or you could stay at moderate level Coronado on Disney property. We're going to say a standard, so we're not going to talk a preferred or the tower. All in for $210 a night, which we've seen.
That's hard because I love Coronado.
I know.
That's not fair.
But
pick Coronado.
Let's just say this. Do you think, what did I say? 350 and 210? Let's just say, let's just say that there is a $100 a night price difference all in between Swan Reserve and a Disney moderate. You choose. It could even be Caribbean.
Right.
What are you picking?
It really depends. I hate to say it like this. It really depends on what I'm doing that weekend. And if we plan on going to Hollywood and Epcot, I might pick Swan because of walking and everything.
Yeah.
But it's really hard because if it's $100 cheaper and you're saying I could stay at Caribbean, which is the Skyliner.
Yeah. Caribbean's not a fair one. Like
no, it's
here,
not.
I would stay at Caribbean. If you could save $100 a night, I would choose Caribbean over
Absolutely.
Swan Reserve. If you're doing the parks, because simple fact is you can, like you said, you can hop on a Skyliner. You're more convenient to both Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And if you want, you can still Skyline to Epcot and then go over to this whole area and enjoy the restaurants and things like that.
Right.
I would spend the extra $100 a night though to stay here over Port Orleans, Riverside, or French Quarter.
Yes.
Or Coronado. Dependent on the stay. I'm talking more of a blanket hypothetical situation.
Right.
Like I'm not breaking down what are you doing? Who are you going with? What's the plans? How many nights I'm just saying in generalities, right? I mean, I think my only thing and my only reason I hate so much that we stayed here is that we did not get to enjoy it as much as we would have liked because of the last minute plans that came through that we'll talk about with the Orlando Informer Meetup, which took a big chunk of our time away from Swan Reserve.
Yes.
Worth every second. And I'm so glad we did stay here, but it makes me want to go back even more.
Yes, it does.
To enjoy it properly.
I agree.
Right? And to enjoy more than one evening of fireworks from our room or, try out Amare, things like that. So, all right, we're talking about Thursday still. So we've only just arrived, but we've given you a full breakdown and lowdown on Swan Reserve. We did duck into Epcot for that Thursday after we got all settled in.
Yes.
And Rhonda was starving. I was too. This is around 11 or so, I think, at this point. I snagged a Cosmic Rewind virtual queue that morning. So we thought, let's hop into Epcot. Let's ride Cosmic. And then maybe we'll just, fart around a little bit. We'll come back. We can relax before we were doing our little evening crawl.
Correct.
Where did you want to get something to eat at Epcot, though? No festival. Still got to the 29th.
I wanted the festival favorites, which right now they are serving a cheese stuffed arepa with cilantro crema and cojita for $5.25, but they're also doing the chicken one with the avocado crema.
We had that and loved
yes, it was. So we got this one instead, and this is $5.25. Dining plan meals are not accepted here. This is where sometimes you can get some of your festival beers and stuff, but this was good. I would every single time get the chicken one.
Agreed.
I didn't dislike it. I liked it. I was very hungry, but I don't know why the chicken to me was so much better.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be more filling and more shareable, the chicken one, because it is much larger with all the protein of chicken and stuff in there. And that was a good amount when we went.
Yep.
This one, while I did really enjoy, it was, to me, really heavy on the lime.
Okay.
Almost a little too much in that lime crema that it was almost overpowering, but I still thought this was great.
Yeah.
I mean, you still can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
I would just get the one with the chicken.
Yep.
If you're a chicken eater.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're not, this one was
Not a chicken eater.
fantastic.
Yeah, it would be vegetarian.
Yeah.
Not vegan, of course, because of the cheese and all of that. Of course, we had to get some snacks.
Of course, we
Get
always
back
do.
to the room from Caramel Couche.
Yes.
What do we get? Because they do have a new item.
They do. I was so excited. So,
Start with a fan favorite.
Yeah, I went in and, they now have at some point through the year, whether it be what kind of cookies stuffed with icing, filling, and a caramel drizzle. But this was the Snickerdoodle cookies with Snickerdoodle icing, filling, and caramel in the middle for $7.29. And this is your, Werther's original Snickerdoodle sandwich. They have the gingerbread one usually coming out here soon.
I can't wait for that.
I know. They had a whoopie pie, red velvet. So they kind of come up with these things. So we got that, of course. And they also have.
We love this Snickerdoodle one.
It's so good.
Yeah.
They also had. I was like, what is that? But it actually is the Mickey's Werther's Original Caramel Chocolate Cookie Sandwich. So it kind of looks like the cookie sandwich that is over at Main Street. That is the mint one.
Mm-hmm. That's not ice cream.
So I was very nervous.
This is not ice cream either.
It is not. I was a little nervous because it is 2 chocolate cookie sandwich with the Werther's Original Caramel, salted caramel buttercream frosting, and a sprinkle of sea salt for $7.79. I was nervous until I tasted it. I really shouldn't have been nervous because it's Werther's Original. This thing was fantastic. Yeah. I was very excited that we got both of them. If it's still there when y'all go, I would totally say if you want to spend all the money and get both of them.
Come on, $15. Get both of these.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, this is the consistency and the texture of the icing in this one is so much better.
Yeah.
And has a better mouthfeel. I hate those words together, but it's the way that it's a word. It has a lot better than it does over at the mint chocolate chip one, I think.
But if you were only to get one, I think I would have gone with the chocolate cookie.
Well, that's great because you can eat the whole thing. I'll get the Snickerdoodle. I would prefer the Snickerdoodle over it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did like this better.
Yeah.
I still think that as this being an ice cream sandwich, it would take it to a level beyond what anyone would ever know.
Okay.
Just put ice cream in these things, please.
They do have one.
But I think the same probably about the Snickerdoodle. If that was instead Snickerdoodle ice cream mixed with caramel in the middle, I would just love it so much more. I love ice cream sandwiches though. So just again, something to think about if you're looking for those and you got a sweet tooth. So Thursday night, I had spent the week prior going through pretty much almost every bar and lounge on Disney property and making a list of their non-alcoholic specialty beverages, their mocktails, their zero proofs. And it's a list that we'll start to work through as we go places. We did the hibiscus henna Nomad Lounge the other weekend, which we love, which is their version of the Gin's Tattoo. It's a non-alcoholic zero proof version. It's very good. So I started making this list and found a bunch within these areas. So I thought, well, let's do for dinner, we'll basically do a bar or lounge crawl.
Okay.
We'll try some of these non-alcoholic beverages and then we'll eat some stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So where did we start?
Well, we started at the Tangerine Pool Bar because I think I was hungry. And
I mean, it's right there.
That was the one that was open prior.
The earliest, yeah.
The earliest. Yeah. This opens at 11 a.m. and it closes at 6. So we had Austin as our cast member, and
dude, he was the best.
He was great.
He was great.
He was.
Yeah.
I was looking at the menu, and there is no non-alcoholic drinks on there, except when it goes to the frozen daiquiris and
pina coladas.
It said it can be.
I think they had a watermelon. They had smooth. We'll call them icy smoothies, whatever you want to call them.
And it said it can be all without alcohol. Well, while I see the one that is the pina colada one or whatever one there was a tangerine whip one. And I'm like, well, it's not on here and it doesn't say it, but let me ask. So unfortunately I asked him and there was rum in it. And I was like, oh, man.
It was weird that was the only one that was pre-mixed.
It was. But he then was like, are you looking for a non-alcoholic? And I was like, I actually am. And he said, I can do, and he starts kind of naming stuff. Well, he says a mojito. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Because, again, we're sitting outside. It's not cold. It's not sweltering because we're in the shade and stuff. But it's still a mojito just sounded amazingly refreshing. So that is what I got. And it was fantastic.
It was really good.
Really good.
Yeah. And those are super easy to make at home. I mean, really, you can use, some soda water. You can use a little bit of ginger. Well, ginger ale will give you more of a mule, but you can use soda water, or you can use lemon lime soda like a Sprite. You use some fresh mint in there, some lime, and it's very, very good.
Yes, it was.
So yeah, that was great. So one thing I've found, I don't know why, and it's probably just me because I'm weird. I always feel like I have to explain myself.
What do you mean?
We say, I'm looking for a non-alcoholic beverage. I'm like, we're sitting at a bar at Disney by the pool. I feel like I need to explain myself. I know I don't. It's just the way that I am. But I almost feel like you have to be like, oh, we used to drink. I used to drink. We're just, we're not weird or anything. I don't know why I feel that way. I just do because, when you look around, especially when you're sitting at a bar area, you look around and everybody else is drinking alcoholic beverages and you're specifically almost making it a hard time by ordering something or finding something off menu. And I'm very glad to see that there are more of these beverages coming.
I just started to say they're actually having a lot more. Where I have now noticed, and one of the things which was really funny when we went to the concert, they had them all in clear plastic, and I'm like, you can't tell who's drinking from who.
Yeah.
Because,
they bubbly when we went to the St. Augustine
Amphitheater. So if we had that, and if I had a White Claw, I mean,
you wouldn't notice the difference by looking at it.
And I've noticed that now, especially the night that we did go and crawl around the bar.
Yeah. There's a lot more offerings.
There is, and I noticed that. I'm like, what is that? Is that alcohol?
Yeah.
So I think it's nice that, and I don't think anymore you really would need to explain yourself.
No, you don't. You have no reason to. I'm just weird, so I think it. But another thing that I have noticed, and I was having this conversation on Twitter with somebody about it, was a lot of these places make non-alcoholic beverages for people that have never drank. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
For
they don't make
16, 17-year-olds, 19,
no, for anyone.
20?
They make them for Rachel.
Okay.
They make them for our friend Rachel or my friend Drew Hanlon, who's never had alcohol or caffeine or I think sugar or something weird. But he works out NBA stars. So they make drinks for people who have never drank. There's a big difference when you were a drinker who enjoys the taste of alcoholic beverages, but for some reason you no longer partake in them, whether you're sober like me, or you are married to someone who's sober like you, or health reasons,
Right.
Whatever, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
So I find that a lot with these is a lot of places go,
Okay, that makes sense now.
we'll give them a strawberry smoothie. Okay, well, that's a lot different than getting just say a 0 proof margarita or no keto or old fashioned or something like that. With what we're going to talk about at some of the rest of the places, and with the big list that I made that I'll be happy to share, you're seeing a lot more beverages that appear to be designed by and for people who drank or drink but aren't that evening. Because you could go, all right, the Tangerine Pool Bar opens at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, 6 months ago, we would go to the pool bar at 11 a.m. and get a drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people who maybe do drink and enjoy alcohol don't always start drinking at 11 a.m., even when they're on vacation.
Right.
So it's still understandable, though, that somebody who is a drinker but doesn't at that time want an alcoholic beverage to have options that still have those. Does that make sense? Like sometimes you might just want a margarita, right? But you don't want the alcohol, even though you maybe are somebody who on a Friday night at 6 p.m. meets up for happy hour and has alcoholic margaritas. There's sometimes where that's just not, you just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So we're seeing more crossover. And again, 6 months ago, I wouldn't have given a crap.
Right.
I never even looked at a non-alcoholic menu. I was like, what is this? What is this section? I don't have any children. Just rip it out of here. There's no need. So just one of those things I'm noticing. But all right, we did get something to eat there.
We did.
Right? What did we get?
The last
Sopressata.
I'm like, how you say that? So this is a flatbread, and it's sopressata, torn mozzarella cheese, red onions, and San Marzano tomato for $19.
Yeah. This
was like, I feel like, how do you say it? Where you put it in the wood-fired pizza oven. It was a little burnt on the bottom, which is super weird.
Wood-fired. We'd have to ask anybody who's been to Amare. I've got a couple people we could ask.
Yeah, it was super good because I don't even like burnt things, but this was just fantastic.
Because that's where they're coming out of. Everything is coming out of the Amare kitchen. So you're talking about having poolside flatbreads, salads, and burgers that are coming out of a signature restaurant kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Third best pizza I've had on property. Number one and number two.
Here we go.
We can have a full debate and argument over whether it's Pizza Ponte or Via Napoli. And if you ask me, you're not wrong either way. For me personally, this is the third best pizza I've had on property. It was outstanding.
It really
I
was.
wanted to get another pizza the next day.
We should have,
except we were doing Orlando Informer that
much.
night, and it was
had
like
so much.
I can't eat. So
You ate.
You ate all. Wait till we talk about Orlando Informer. I would, again, this is a walk, right? This is a walk. But if it came, now obviously I would try and get reservations and sit down at Via Napoli, right? If you're in Epcot or in that area.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do that and you want something a little different, skip right past that Italy pizza window outside with the stuff they're serving, and you walk over to Swan and you go into either Tangerine or Stir because they have the exact same menu, and you get yourself one of these pizzas.
I would like to go back here and try the margarita. Was it the margarita? Because it said there was a ricotta cheese.
Yeah, the margarita pizza had a ricotta on it.
Yes, which reminds me of
We're still talking about
the
drink margaritas.
No, the Pizza Ponte.
Yeah.
What is that?
Parmicotta. You love the parmicotta.
I love that one. So I want to go back and try this one because I was curious of what it would come out and if it's very similar. And then if I could just come get this one, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh my God, it was so good. From here, we moved about 20 feet inside to Stir. Now, Stir doesn't open until 3:30, but they are open until midnight.
Yes, they are.
And I will say this, Swan Reserve, if you are somebody who likes late night, and we know that a majority of places on Disney property close down at 10 p.m., this is the area to go.
Yes.
Most all of their stuff is open till midnight, some of them even longer.
Yep.
Like Kimonos over at the Swan is open till like 1:32 in the morning.
Which is crazy.
It's insane.
But we've been there.
We have been there at 1:30 in the morning.
At that time, yeah.
All right. Dining plans are not accepted here. They're not accepted out at Tangerine, just so you know. And we started with a little snack because we thought we'd get, again, same menu with some modifications because
Correct.
this was not available outside, I don't believe.
It was not.
They have these
call
spiced Marcona almonds.
And they call them bar snacks. There's like I think there was 3 bar snacks.
Yeah, there's the trio of dips, which is like a hummus and a tormula and might have been a baba ganoush or something. But there is like a bread service, and then there's a third option. But let's talk about these almonds, man. $7. You get a bowl full of almonds. Marcona almonds or Spanish almonds. They tend to be almost like lighter in flavor and what would be the opposite of softer, I guess you would say?
Yeah, and I felt like they were naked.
Yeah, they didn't have like the almond skin on them.
Right, they were white.
Yeah.
And then, of course, dressed in this spiced, which kind
We're
of had
trying to find out what it is.
Yeah, Jeremy
we have a friend that works
Yep.
at Swan Reserve with Amare and food and beverage and all. She's a wonderful friend, and I have tasked her with trying to find out. She said she's not sure if they make them or if they order them from somewhere. If they order these from somewhere, we will be purchasing them.
Okay.
I don't even know.
They're really good.
Addictive.
Yeah, they are.
Belief.
They are.
It's almost like
they're not real spicy either.
No, they're not.
Like
it's like perfect. Oh my God, these were good.
Mm-hmm.
These are worth a trip over here. Like, holy crap, they were good. Now they do have one non-alcoholic, zero proof signature style cocktail, which is called the Pace Horse. No ABV, so no alcohol content or anything. This is a unique house blend of lime, ginger, cardamom, and palm sugar infused with turmeric, topped with soda. This is $14. So this is where we get to that example of non-alcoholic beverages costing as much as alcoholic beverages because of the process. It was funny. I had a TikTok show up that was explaining it.
Oh.
And it was saying like, hey, making these beverages take all the alcohol isn't the expensive part in the drinks.
Right.
It's the other stuff like maybe the cardamom and palm sugar infused with turmeric. It is the process if it's using a zero proof spirit or a non-alcoholic wine. Like, and in the TikTok specifically, it was saying, a lot of non-alcoholic wine is actually alcohol removed.
Right.
So they make wine. They make alcoholic wine, right? And then they take the alcohol out. So it's actually an extra step.
I don't understand that.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I will say all of these have wonderful signature cocktails as well.
Yeah.
We've had in the past and enjoyed. So they're doing a great job of that. I enjoyed this. It's not one that I think I'd like specifically go back for.
Yeah.
Or one that I'll probably talk about a lot. But it was good.
Yeah.
And it was refreshing.
Yeah.
And it was just nice to sit in that lobby bar and just chill.
It was.
So from here, we decided to go down to Rosa Mexicana.
Over at Dolphin.
Over at the Dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty new. It's been open for a little over a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had reservations here before, usually like late night, and we just didn't make it. Plans changed. We've got lots of friends that have been here and said it is outstanding.
Yep.
Lucy, my good friend, and like a sister to me, told me that there's a dish here that she puts on her top 5 on all of Disney property. I thought, you're a crazy person. There's no way. And we're going to talk about it in a minute. Because of the item, I thought, okay, whatever, Lucy. Okay. But
she was right.
She was right. Now, this doesn't open till 5 p.m.
Right.
It's open till 11. This opened in May of 2023. So yeah, a little over a year ago. And I'm just 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. is crazy for dinner. It just seems so short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they have a wonderful list of zero proof non-alcoholic beverages.
Yes, they do.
Along with all your standard margaritas and all kinds of great full bar, handcrafted cocktails, signature drinks, wonderful bartenders. So you can go nuts here with alcohol if you want. But let's start with their hibiscus pomegranate iced tea, which you got.
Yeah. So this is a house-made hibiscus grenadine iced tea for $9. And not only does it come in a glass, but it comes in a tiny little pitcher. And he filled up the glass with it And then there was still quite a bit in the pitcher.
How many more drink? Did you get a full other drink, or did you get more than one?
I think I got close to more than one because you drank a little bit of it, but it was fantastic.
And $9 for this.
Yes.
The pitcher reminded me of when you order the half pitcher of sangria over at Haleo. It was that size.
It was very, very good. I really, really enjoyed it.
It was outstanding. Did you say what was in it?
Yeah, I said hibiscus grenadine, house-made hibiscus grenadine, and then iced tea.
And this is like fresh, loose leaf blended iced tea. Like,
the
tea. You can taste the difference between.
What if it was the house-made hibiscus grenadine that was throwing you off?
No, you could taste it in the tea. We used to. We went through a period. Like now, I think people go through kombucha period. Right?
I don't think we're going to go through that.
I still don't know what that is. I still don't.
I don't think we're going to go through that period.
And all I know is it's very good for your digestive system. I don't need any help there, so I'd be afraid actually to drink it. But like I think that's the stage that people go through now. Like it's a very like hipster kind of like, whatever, Gen Z or millennial type thing. Like a decade ago, we went through a Tijuana phase, which Starbucks eventually bought. And we would go, they had one at the mall when we were living up in Jacksonville, and we would go there and we would buy all these loose leaf teas, and we bought these specialty little like, remember metal balls that had holes in it. You put the tea in it and you dip it in your hot water and you look all fancy. And there is such a difference in flavor between a loose leaf brewed tea and the stuff you get, from the grocery store coming from Lipton or whatever. Yeah, in a bag. And this stuff is so dang good.
Yeah.
I opted at first for the mango ginger refresco. This is mango puree, lemon, chia seed, ginger beer. This is for $9. If I ever want to recreate this at home, I can, because for some reason we just bought a 80-pound bag of chia seeds from Costco. I hope it doesn't go bad. I don't know what anybody's going to do with a bag that big of chia seeds. No. But you can't just eat them by like the spoonful. You got to put them in stuff. So there's just chia seeds floating in this water. I know they're good for you, but it looks like if you were outside, right, and you walked upon this beverage, you would assume that like 24 gnats met their fate, right? Because it's sweet. It's got the mango puree. It looks like gnats were like, that's sweet. That sounds good. I like mango. And then they drowned in it. And now they're floating all within your drink. Does it not look that way?
I guess it does. No,
tastes delicious. It's so good. And it's not like you don't know. They're so tiny. I mean, again, they are the size of a gnat. You know how many gnats you've eaten in your life, right? You didn't even notice. I guarantee if you've been outside in Florida, you've eaten gnats. And there's a stat, like you'll eat like several hundred spiders while you sleep in your lifetime.
No,
it's a fact.
No,
it's a scientific fact. They crawl in your mouth while you sleep and you eat them. It happens.
That's not true.
It was on the internet.
No, you don't believe
nothing on the internet has ever been wrong. It's all factual.
No.
In fact, to make it even more scientific, I think I saw it on TikTok. And we know that only tells the truth.
That's not true. Oh my God.
So I did enjoy this. And it was good. It is not weird. You don't get a texture. It's not like boba, where you're sucking up boba balls, almost dying, like because you don't know that's coming up.
Chewy ones.
Or it's not like catching a lemon seed. You know what I mean? Like when they get stuck in your water or something. So I really did enjoy it. I also got the blood orange spritzer, which is blood orange, the hibiscus pomegranate syrup, and then lemon and sparkling water for $9. This was great. Did
you like this one better?
I did. And to me, this had much more of that feel of like having a cocktail.
Okay.
Like this one would have been really good, like sitting by the pool, a hot day, sitting on the beach, something like that. So I really enjoyed this. And then there's several other zero proof drinks on that menu that we can still go back and try. So I was super impressed. We sat at the bar area.
Yeah.
Which is a great place to sit.
Yeah.
We got some food. We did not opt for their tableside guacamole.
We did not.
Which is $18. And then there's a lot of add-ins you can put. There's everything from, I think, shrimp to crab to pork to beef to chia seeds. I don't know. They'll throw whatever you want in there. For a pretty good upgrade, like you can get this with shrimp, and I think it ends up being over $30 guacamole.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
and you said Lacey could make us some tableside guacamole.
I'm gonna get reamed for this one. First of all, I'm kind of falling. I don't love avocados as much as I used to.
Oh,
I went
really?
through an avocado period. I'm a little tired of them.
Why?
Like,
Is it the texture for
no,
you?
I think they're 15 minutes is up.
Huh.
Like, let's get at something else in here. What else can we move into avocado space? Because now it's just everywhere.
Okay.
Like, I mean, they're putting it in margaritas over at Cava. And it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't that good. Right?
Okay.
Like, they're putting it everywhere. Now, I understand this is going to be some of the best guacamole you've ever had. Everybody swears by it. And I'm not saying it's not outstanding. But for me, I'd rather my $18 go somewhere else when, yes, I can make tableside guacamole at home. Lacey does it, and it's outstanding.
Like what we actually got.
Yeah. So what did we start with? I'll say it.
Yeah.
The Camarones Diablos.
Yes.
What is this?
This is crispy shrimp, fiery chili del elbow sauce, cool avocado ranch for
should've just read the whole
$18.
thing.
You probably
Yeah.
should have.
This is on their appetizers.
Mm-hmm.
These are nice sized shrimp.
That are
but
cut.
Cut.
Yes.
And then lightly fried.
So then they are tiny
Mhm.
when they're fried.
Yep.
Like they look like boathouse shrimp, but they're not
Yeah.
because they're all cut up. And so like one might be chunkier because you get the front half. One
Yeah.
might be a little smaller because you got the
Tail.
tail. But the taste is not
Small.
a small shrimp. It is
When you
a
eat
large.
when you eat a small shrimp
you can tell.
compared to a large shrimp, there's so much more flavor in
Yes.
that large shrimp.
I agree
And
with
there's
that.
so much more availability to cook
Oh,
it
look at
properly.
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These were tender.
Yeah.
They were flavorful. They had a little bit of kick. They came with some tortilla chips in them. These are like addictive.
Yeah.
They're
And there's a
so
lot
good.
of it
There's
for-
a ton of them.
And so for $18, that it makes me happy that it was $18, but we got a lot of shrimp.
I think this would
with
be
it.
so much better of a spend than guacamole for the same price.
Yeah.
Right? So, Lucy had told me, and she's told me this before, right? Before we thought we were going to Rosa Mexicano, and we ended up canceling it. And she had told me, she said, if you do not get the Mexican fried rice, we are no longer friends. And we did not end up going that night, right? So I wasn't going to disappoint her this night. And we did order the Mexican fried rice.
Yes, we did.
Now, this is actually considered a side,
Yes.
right? This is chorizo, fried egg, bacon, corn, black beans, scallions, cilantro, tomato, chiles toretos, and a partridge in a pear tree. This is $13. I'll say it again. 13. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
In your mind, you're thinking $13 for a side? That seems like a lot.
That's a large side.
It's an entree portion, and then it's huge. I wouldn't consider this a side. And for $13, this could have been 18 to 20, I think, for the size.
Well,
I was blown away by it only being. When I was doing the notes, I messaged Lucy and said, "I'm sorry, this was only $13," and she's like, "Yeah, can you believe it?"
Oh, wow. Well, you can make it expensive
Yes,
by
you can.
adding shrimp
Mhm.
for $12 extra, or certified Angus beef New York strip for $15, or lump crab meat for $16.
Don't bother.
Then there's your over 20
Yeah,
something dollars.
don't bother. If you want shrimp,
But it's good.
If you want shrimp,
would
no,
I mean,
listen,
we
man.
didn't.
If you want
but-
shrimp, listen to me.
Oh my goodness.
I'm fired up today because I'm excited about this episode.
Okay.
Because we had so much. First of all, I will say now, so I don't forget, this is one of my favorite trips we've ever had in my entire life.
Oh,
I don't know why. It just was.
okay.
First of all, I remember it all, which is really cool because
Aw.
I'm sober now. Second, it was just you and I.
Mhm.
It was you and I. And
Oh, yeah.
we love our
didn't see
friends.
it. Yeah.
We
didn't
love our
s-
people.
Nobody.
We love everybody, right?
Yeah.
But we spent 3 nights and 3.5 days, just you and me, just kind of just doing our thing and just having the best time.
Mhm.
And it was amazing.
It
One of
was.
my favorite trips ever, right?
It was.
This Mexican fried rice, I think there's no need to add anything to it.
But it would be good if you
It
did.
would be good, but you didn't let me finish, my love.
Mm.
Don't make me regret saying it was one of my favorite trips because it was just you. If you're going to add shrimp for $12, just spend the extra $6 and get the appetizer shrimp. You know what
And
I
then
mean?
what? Put it together?
No, just eat them separately. Why do we have to put anything else in this? As it is, Lucy's not kidding. I will agree.
It is really good.
This is one of my top favorite 5 food items I've ever had on Disney property. I can't stop thinking about it. I
Do
want
you
it
wanna
again.
get it? I would
We will
add
get
some
other
beef
things, but
to it
there's-
next time.
I actually think the shrimp would go well with it
I
because
think
of the
the beef
chorizo.
would.
I think the chorizo, almost like a surf and turf.
Hmm.
Oh, beef would too. But as
What about
it
the lump
is,
crab meat?
But as
What about
it
the lump
is,
crab meat?
I would try that too. But I'm saying, as it is, this is unbelievable. There is so much flavor. Okay, when you read that, you're going, guys, you're going to try too hard. You're putting too much into it. No, they're not.
It's good.
It's
really good. Y'all
perfection.
should try it. Y'all should totally try it. Lucy was right.
Lucy was so
very
right.
good. Very,
So
very
right.
good.
And that's why I listened to her. That's why
we
I
ate
go,
the whole thing.
she's my younger, air quote, sister, but she is definitely the smarter, the more responsible
Oh, yeah.
of the two of us. She's a large portion for my sobriety. So that'll tell you how smart she is. She's been telling me it for years. And I just said, no, I don't think that's the issue. And she was like, you're wrong. And she was right. So Lucy, I know she's listening. Shout
Aw.
out. You were right. Thank you. And
Now
Mexican fried
you're
rice.
making her cry.
Yeah. Don't blame her. I could. All right. So we had a specific plan, and the reason we started early is not because Rhonda's 45 and I'm almost 45, and we're not going for early bird spec. Go out to. We had to wait for Stir to open at 3:30. Rhonda. That's
I
when
was
we started
hungry.
back in our room for fireworks.
Yes.
So
Lord of mercy.
we had to shut down a little early, right?
Mm.
So from here, what you could do if you were doing a full bar crawl, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, food, no food, I would roll into this in these areas. I would look at Il Molino and, as I said, Kimonos late night over at Swan. I would look potentially at the Dolphin. There are bars. I know at like Blue Zoo, Todd English Blue Zoo, there is a bar with a specific menu. Shula's Steakhouse is available there as well. Flying Fish has a bar. Abracadabra is right there. You can go to Ale and Compass. You
That's
can go
a
to
lot.
Cruise Cup. So there's a lot of these areas. Now, if you're staying at Swan and Reserve or Swan Reserve or Swan and Dolphin, I would end there. So if we had been staying out a lot later and making a full night of it, we would have walked down to just say Yacht and Beach area, started there and worked our way back. If you're staying at a Yacht and Beach, then I would start over at the Swan Reserve and work your way down the way that we did. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you could add any of those into it. We decided not to, but we did decide to get ice cream from Boardwalk Ice Cream.
Well, we asked for.
I'll let Rhonda talk about this and see if she can make it through the story without doubling over in laughter.
Well, first we did ask about dessert at Amari, and we wanted ice cream. So I was like, let's walk and let's go to Boardwalk Ice Cream. So this is open from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and there's no dining plans accepted here. You can get cones, but you can only get a cake cone or a sugar cone.
Yeah, no waffle cones.
No waffle cones, but
I was very surprised by that.
these are smaller. So
Yeah.
if you know what cake and sugar
They're going to
cones
put the
are.
amount that fits in a waffle cone on a sugar cone.
Yes, they
Here's
are.
the thing that's great about a waffle cone. It contains the ice cream. Sugar cone does not.
No, it doesn't. So you can get a single or a double, and we both got a single.
It's also, it feels like temp outside of 104 degrees at this time, even though it's like 7 p.m. or something, right? And so we have to walk with the ice cream.
We don't have to, but we did.
We did.
We
How did
started.
that work out for me?
Well, let's go back to. They run from $5.49 if you're going to get a cake or a
No, single scoop. Single scoop's $5.49. Double scoop is $6.79.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, whether you're doing cake or sugar, I believe.
Okay. Again, we got the single. And this amazing cast member. I don't know if this is how they do them all, or if she just liked. I believe it was. I think Jeremy Moran that had it. That was Be Nice to cast members, and she was very grateful and thankful. So
I think we got a double scoop.
we got.
Maybe a triple. Do you see like cartoons, right? Where they're looking ice cream, but usually it's different flavors, colors just to show you.
Yeah.
And it's like stacked up, like where it's almost leaning over. Like this was almost cartoon like. There was so much ice cream.
There was
Which
so
I'm very
much,
thankful for.
and it was great. I got cookies and cream, and it was very good and creamy. And I was licking and eating it immediately, and we started walking. Jeremy got chocolate mint chocolate chip. And
Before you tell the rest of the story, it's good ice cream. It's not salt and straw, right?
yeah,
It's good
it was
ice
really
cream.
good.
But to me, this tastes like ice cream that you buy a really good like brand ice cream like the Tillamook, which we really like. You buy a good ice cream from your grocery store, is what this tasted like. To me, it did not taste like a Salt and Straw handcrafted ice cream, but it still was.
But it was
good.
really good.
It was good. Yeah.
I really liked my cookies and cream. It was very, very creamy.
It also melts a lot, really quickly too. Are you good?
It was just so funny because we're walking and trying to eat. Cheers.
It's everywhere.
Melting.
I can't even walk properly. I have to hold the cone out far in front. So if I want to eat it, I have to bend over to eat it, because if I bring it towards my body, it's going to drip all over my clothing. I got a drop on my shoe. I got one on my shirt, and that was minimal. It could have been a lot worse. First of all, I grabbed like 2 napkins.
It was
I needed a roll of paper towels or some wet naps or a bath. They should offer portable showers on the boardwalk for if you order the ice cream.
Oh my God.
To wash yourself.
And then I was literally laughing doubled over trying to eat my ice cream so mine wouldn't melt.
Yeah.
And then we run into Matt and meet him, and it was amazing.
Yeah, wonderful listener.
Wonderful. And Matt, it was so great meeting you, and I truly want to apologize because Matt's trying to talk to us.
Yeah, talk to us. And you're doubled over
I
and
just
laughing.
start laughing.
Because I'm still holding the ice cream cone. And
And
I don't
it's
want to be
still
rude. I don't want to be
melting.
rude and eat it in front of Matt. And he was so gracious. He's like, I'm so sorry. I don't want to interrupt you. Like, I know you got, and I'm like, no, you're good, man. So I'm just holding this ice cream cone out. And we talked to him for a while because he was such a nice guy. We're just asking about his trip.
so
And
nice.
he was amazing. Yeah, I was so glad we ran into him. It was just hilarious because I'm sitting there with the ice cream melting, and Rhonda's just doubled over in laughter at me. And afterwards she's like, "Oh my God, I feel so bad."
I really did.
She's like, "I wasn't like laughing at
No.
like, anything other than just ice cream going down your hand."
Because going back to cartoon, you saying that, when you go and the cartoons have like somebody sweating and it's just profusely like pouring, like it's raining out or something. I mean, that is almost what the ice cream looked like too. That was just melting. And the way you were trying to, it was just, it was amazing and funny. And I hadn't laughed like that, I felt like, in a very long time.
It was hilarious. It was everywhere.
Oh, it was so funny.
But it was worth it. It was
very
definitely
good.
worth it.
At that point, we walked all the way around, which
Yeah.
was really nice too, because we were full and we were walking our ice cream and stuff off to go back to the room to watch the fireworks, and had a great evening.
Oh, it's amazing.
And then Friday
we called it quits after watching the fireworks.
Yes.
Around 9:45. I had thought maybe at that point we would go down to like an Il Molino or Kimonos or whatever, but we were going to have 2 very late nights at Orlando Informer Meetup the next 2 nights.
Right.
So we decided just to
and
go
driving
Yeah.
from Universal Orlando Resort all the way back to Swan
Yeah.
Reserve.
Oh, my only other con would be that the pillows here were like melted marshmallows. The pillows were not my favorite at the Swan Reserve.
Yeah.
But other than that, love this place and want to go back. So Friday came around, right? We had very specific plans for Friday to head over to Magic Kingdom.
Yes, we did.
So I went ahead and secured a Tiana's Bayou Adventure virtual queue.
Yes, we did.
At this time now, this is probably our 6th, 7th ride. We've not waited more than 15 minutes for any previous virtual queue. I think now things are settling. It still rarely opens when the park opens.
Which is
It
sad.
opened about an hour late this day. We waited about 45 minutes, which is not bad at all.
It's not, but it is hard when it is so hot out.
Yes.
Praise God,
You're in a lot of shaded area with those trees and the outdoor queue, which is nice. Like, I'm glad that all of that stayed put from the Splash Mountain days.
Yes.
That they didn't just rip that queue out and try to redesign it and be like, well, there wouldn't be trees at her. No, just put the trees. It's got shade and there's giant fans.
Yes, and that's nice. But I was going to say, please stay hydrated. Please, Disney doesn't care what you bring into. You can bring your big, giant Stanleys.
Yeah.
They don't care what you bring in. Just bring it and stay hydrated. Because, unfortunately, a lot of people get heat stroke and stuff like that. But so it was very, very hot.
Also,
but we did ride, and that was fun.
And be nice to cast members. We sat behind. We got stuck at the end. right as you're getting ready to pull up. I mean, we're already through the final scene, the final main show scene, and we're pulling up. We're about 3-4 boats behind from unloading, and it stops, and it's sitting there for a little while.
Music turns off and everything.
Yeah, music turned off. We still had some announcements and all. The guy who was sitting in front of us in the same boat, in our same boat, we were in the last row. He was in front of us. Wife, I think, had 2 kids. And this is a family show, so I won't call him what he was, but
he was not nice.
You know, we're literally only there for about 5 minutes.
Yes.
And we're undercover.
Yes.
Inside.
Yep.
Technically.
In
right?
shade.
He is, I mean, you would have thought we were stuck for 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The way that he was acting.
Yeah.
He's yelling, "Get me off this crappy ride. This is ridiculous." Say that word. Yeah, he used a different word than crappy. He's yelling out, you know, "I'm stuck back here in the fetal position." I want to be like, "Sir, how are you sitting in this?"
Yeah, and I want to be like,
in the fetal position?
"Sir, I'm sorry, but you're shorter than my 6'3"
Yeah. How do you think I feel, bud? And then as we pull up and are starting to exit, he's trying to stare at the cast member who's paying no mind to him. Both of them. So trying to make eye contact with them, saying, "This is ridiculous. I can't believe it." Like, you can't believe this? Mm-hmm. How privileged have you been your entire life, dude, that you got stuck on 5 minutes on a new boat ride in Magic Kingdom, and this is the most ridiculous thing you've ever been a part of? Okay. As we're leaving the gift shop, he goes to the photo op place and says, again, we hear him talking about the fetal position to a cast member. Like, you know, what are you stuck? And he's showing what it looked like. Did you see him bending over? No. He was doing one of these to the cast member as though he really was stuck in a fetal position. I don't think he knows what the fetal position is.
I don't either.
Anyway, just that was one of those. You just walk off and you shake your head. And Rhonda said something to the cast member,
which was hysterical because she goes,
didn't even know
I didn't even know what he said, and I was like, okay, good. And then I was like, you know, he needs one of my hats, and she was like, I like your hat, thank you. And you know, so but
it was just absurd.
It was. But anyways, besides that,
we were here for the Halloween
opening
available all day
treats.
Yeah, this was opening day of Halloween treats.
I took all of my Halloween clothes and wore them. Yeah. We bought Jeremy some Crocs. I got 3 pairs of Crocs. We got stuck in some rain.
Yeah,
excuse me. And we bought. Let's see, what else did we buy?
Well, I mean, because we ended up hitting the Character Warehouse on the way home. Picked up some Haunted Mansion Spirit jerseys plus our 20% off.
Yes.
I got some Christmas Crocs and I got some winter Crocs there. I got the Halloween Crocs at full price in Creations, but we had already.
No, that was on the boardwalk.
Oh, was it? Okay. Mm-hmm. But we'll start with some of the sweet stuff and then we'll go to savory. Let's start over at Anti-Gravity's Galactic Goodies. They have new this year. They've always had the candy corn ice cream, but this year they've got a sweet corn soft serve. Now this is available during the regular park hours as well as Mickey's Not So Scary for $7.79. This is your candy corn soft serve. It is served with a butterscotch magic shell, which is the stuff that hardens when it gets cold. Greatest invention in the world. Yes, it is well above the wheel as far as inventions. And then it has actual candy corn.
Yep, this is fantastic.
So good,
so good. I recommend this. I highly recommend this. And I would highly recommend probably getting it during the day and not doing it at the party.
There's so much more available at the party.
Exactly.
Yeah, for this to be available all day.
Yep.
If you do not like candy corn, I think there's still potential that you will like the soft serve. I don't think it's overly candy corn. In fact, they're calling it a sweet corn. Now, if you get the sundae, it is going to have candy corn pieces in it. You could just not eat those.
Absolutely.
But the way that the butterscotch hardened and then along with those candy corns and the ice cream gave you this just delicious, creamy, but chewy, just flavor popped bite. I want this again before it's gone. Yeah. The next time we're at Magic Kingdom during the day. What else did we get over at Friar's Nook, which is available by mobile order.
It is.
I would recommend mobile order when you have an opportunity.
Yeah. And this is your s'mores cup. This is layers of graham cracker crumbles, chocolate ganache, chocolate pudding, chocolate popping candies, milk chocolate panna cotta, and marshmallow cream. This is for $5.99. This is available during the park hours and the party. And again, I would highly recommend to get during the regular hours.
Yeah, save your party exclusive treats.
Yep. And this is fantastic.
Was
The
really
popping
good.
candies were
Yeah.
really cool and weird, but cool. This was a great. It's not overly like in your face Savory, but I like the chocolate ganache. I really, really like this.
Yeah, it's layered, so it is one where you really want to get your spoon down and get all the layers together. Individually, the layers are fine. They taste good. But together is where you really get more of that s'more flavor and a more like overall roundabout and flavor dessert. So I really did enjoy this. If you're there during the day and you only have the choice for one sweet treat out of these two, I would personally pick the sweet corn soft serve.
I would
you?
too. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but this was good.
Yes, it was.
All right, we're going to talk to, now this was down at the boardwalk in their Carousel Coffee. This is the Halloween macaroon trio. This is pumpkin spice milk chocolate, a green apple Carmelita chocolate, and a blood orange dark chocolate. So you get those 3 little macaroons. This is new this year for $7.99. They are packaged. They've got a little cardboard looking sleeve. And then they are wrapped in clear plastic little cellophane, little twist tie. So we took them back to the room to try them.
We tried them the next day or something.
Yeah. I thought if you like pumpkin,
that one was fantastic.
it was amazing.
I didn't try the rest.
I tried the other 2.
I wish I would have tried the apple caramel.
So I only know what they were now by reading the description. Like when you eat the pumpkin, if you didn't know what it was, you go, this is pumpkin.
Okay.
The other 2, I don't think had that strong of a flavor profile. If this was something that you could go down, and it's not, if you could go down and they had them separate, you could say, I want my trio of macaroons. Here's the 3 that I want.
Okay.
I would get 3 pumpkin.
Yeah.
Like the $7.99, the other 2 were fine. It was worth it for the pumpkin. It was very good.
Wow.
If you're a pumpkin person, if you're, if you got to have your PSLs,
Yep.
right? Better get it.
Well, speaking of that, in the Carousel Coffee place, we each got a coffee, and
they also closed earlier than I knew because I felt bad. They were closing the doors while we were in there because it was 3:30. I think that they close, and I didn't know that. I felt bad. We were in there making them work at 3:20. I think, but
we didn't
they were
realize,
awesome. Yeah.
and it was fine. But they did have a Cinnabon frozen coffee that I got,
Yeah,
and it was really good. I just think maybe I shouldn't have drank it as maybe fast / walking out in the heat.
Upset your stomach a little bit there.
Yeah, it was a little.
You weren't feeling the best that night.
No, but I was really happy that I got an hour to like rest and relax. So
to be fair, that might have just been the straw that broke the camel's back after we partook in the 100-degree weather and the sweet stuff. Plus, we went ahead to Casey's Corner. Not only be nice to cast members, just be nice to guests and be aware of your surroundings.
Oh my God. That was crazy.
This lady was more oblivious than the 2 that cut in front of us at Salt and Straw. I mean, Rhonda walked up, and the wonderful cast member at the doorway saw you were wearing the Be Nice to Cast Member hat at that point. We had a little conversation with her, and you said, at that point, we just wanted some waters. Right? This was the next day.
Yep.
But I just thought of it. So then we'll get to the food portion. And we're waiting for waters behind another person. And this lady literally walks up and steps between us and her. And I don't think she did speak English. I don't believe, because
I understand
she was trying
that,
to ask
but
for water from the cast member, and then the cast member finally said agua, and then they were able to communicate.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if somebody's speaking to me in a different language, I would know that, and I'd be like, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry."
You spoke to her,
and I spoke to her 2 or 3 times, and I mean, I all but touched her and been like, "Excuse me, lady."
That's so funny.
I mean, I was
laughing.
I was very just like, "Oh my gosh!" And I think one of the persons behind me kind of was like shocked too.
What is happening?
She never even, and I stared at her when she left too, and she never even looked at me.
Yeah.
Like I was literally invisible. I really do feel like I was Harry Potter with the cloak.
Yep.
Like literally.
Oh, I know.
It was. Anyways.
But let's talk about the food.
Let's talk about the food.
Let's talk about the food.
We did go ahead and order the Chipotle barbecue pork and street corn which you can put on a hot dog, you can put on French fries, or you can put on mini corn dogs.
Yes.
And we got mini corn dogs because it does come with fries.
Mm-hmm.
So this way we were able to basically try both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is during regular park hours and the party. Again, I would totally get during the regular park hours and save all the other stuff for the party.
Yeah.
This was really, really good. The corn dogs, it is just to note, it is smaller. There's 5 corn dogs that come in underneath the Chipotle barbecue street corn topped. But what's great is once you eat it, there was a little bit more left, and I just kind of dumped it on top of the fries, and it was just fantastic.
It was really good.
This was a really good bite altogether
Yeah.
with either the French fries or the corn dogs. I loved it.
Yeah, I did too.
I would get it again.
I would too. I think next time I would actually maybe do it on the hot dog, and there's a foot-long version as well.
Okay.
I would maybe do it on the hot dog next time because you would still have that side of fries.
Correct.
My only problem with it, and the toppings were great. You know, you've got this fire-roasted corn and queso fresco and the barbecue pork. You've got cilantro on there. It almost masked the flavor of the corn dog. Like, I didn't get a lot of corn dog flavor as much as I just got all the topping flavor.
But it was so good.
It was very good. Yeah.
like-
but I'm saying I think you would get more dog flavor if you put it on a hot dog.
Eh.
You know what I'm saying?
Eh.
But I really did like it. The sweet cast member gave us a they have a baseball fudge brownie dessert.
Oh my God. That was I've never had that.
Wonderful.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Little
So if
fudge
you're
brownie, icing
Yes.
on top, looks like a baseball. It was so
so good. If you're there and you're like, ooh, you know, I kind of wonder what that's like, if it's good, if it's yes, like
It is.
literally just get it.
Yeah, I
like
think it might be like $5.
it's so good.
I would get it.
It was really good.
Yeah. We'll end this episode talking about the Orlando Informer Meetup because we did go Friday and Saturday night, and we're on Friday right now. But let's skip ahead to Saturday because we headed back to Magic Kingdom,
Yes, we did.
and we had reservations for noon at the Plaza Restaurant,
Yes.
which has Halloween specialties, which are available all day. They're not exclusive just to the party.
Yes.
They have 4 items, so we got all 4.
Yes, we did. And this was the day that we checked out of the Swan Reserve. We drove to Magic Kingdom and we ate here. And then pretty much we
Also did Tron. I got a virtual
that's
queue
right.
for Tron
We did
since
Tron.
we did Tiana's the day before.
We ate and then we drove to the Character Warehouse, and that's when we got our 20% off and stood in a 45-minute line
45
there.
minutes to get into there.
And then from there we drove over to check in at Dockside.
Yeah. Going back to Friday, we got the 1 p.m. drop on Tron too. We rode Tron on Friday as well. We rode Tiana's and Tron that same day because we got the 1 p.m.
That's
drop.
right, because I remember you saying I said something because we were going to leave and you were like, well, if we get at 1 p.m., it's not going to be like 2:05. It was literally like 2:05.
I was only going to get it for testing purposes.
Yep.
I didn't think we'd be able to stick around.
And we got
for
to ride it.
And it was called like an hour later.
Mm-hmm.
And on that day, we pretty much we walked on from the virtual queue almost.
Yes,
we
did.
We walked right into the digitization room. We walked right.
It was, I think something because we were out in the long part underneath where there was no shade, and then it seemed to very quickly fix where then we were under the shade, and then we were in the shade the rest of the time, and I was fine with that. When I'm in shade, I'm like, I don't care, I'm good.
Yes.
So
Let's talk about the plaza.
Yeah.
Now, we ate here for the first time a couple months ago.
Yes, we did.
And we were very, very surprised at how much we enjoyed it.
We were.
You had a Waldorf salad. You even brought leftovers home to our home 2 hours away and ate it, and it was good. I had a crab cake sandwich that I was pleasantly surprised by. We had the Plaza loaded fries. They actually have some very good, this would have been more than 6 months ago, they do have some good pre-mixed cocktails that are available there that are actually very good. You know, they're not going to pack a big punch. But if you want an alcoholic beverage in the middle of your day at Magic Kingdom,
it's really
they're
good.
only available at sit downs. It was very, very good. So what are the 2 savory items here that we went ahead and got?
They have a ghoulishly gourmet burger and a Halloween turkey club. The burger is a 2 all-beef patty with pepper jack and Swiss cheese, candied bacon, balsamic glazed mushrooms, onion ring, and a truffle buffalo aioli served on a black bun. This is for $25. Your Halloween turkey club is a turkey club with bacon on a black sandwich bread, and there's no mayonnaise or anything on it. You can get the stuff on the side if you'd like, and this is $19. So it was nice because the turkey club was already cut in half. Jeremy cut the burger in half. We each had one. They came with a side, and we got fries and mashed potatoes because I wanted to try something other than the fries since we've had them.
Yep.
The mashed potatoes was like a red mashed potato.
Yeah, red skinned.
Thank you.
Still had the skin on.
And it was fantastic. What a great, just little like garlicky mashed potato. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But this Halloween turkey club and this burger was fantastic.
They were.
I think the turkey club at the time we were eating was fantastically refreshing. Whereas the burger I felt like was outstanding, but I could have seen myself eating it like a little bit later in the day when it's not so hot. But this was holy moly outstanding. I would get both of these again.
Yeah. Yeah, I love both of the. I couldn't keep a. I couldn't concentrate because I keep the 2 all beef patties. That doesn't immediately make you think of 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. The big back McDonald's commercial.
Okay.
Is that late 80s, 90s? You don't
Sure.
remember that song?
I do, but I'm like, no, I'm
okay. Well,
it's a
I just sung it over my head 30 times while you talked about it. You enjoyed these, correct? No, I agree. I loved these. Go back to the Mexican fried rice at Rosa and you look at the description and you go, that's a lot. Like, I think you're putting too much into this. It's going to be too much. This was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
You got a taste of the burger. You got a taste of that meat. The bacon, the cheese, like everything. This truffle buffalo aioli, like all of this is so good.
It was.
They're using the leftover squid ink from Be Our Guest to make the buns, I suppose, and the black bread.
The only downfall is with all of this, and by the time, and I think Jeremy said no matter how long it basically sat for, if they had immediately brought it to us, I think it would have still gotten the bottom bun a little soggy.
Yeah.
That was the only downfall. And then it was almost like you were needing to eat with a knife and fork.
This is a knife and fork burger.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. Like, we were able to pick it up, but it was pretty hard, especially when you get down to the end of it. It's a mess.
And then I ended up kind of dropping it and then finishing with a knife and fork after I wiped all my hands off and everything. But it was fantastic.
I've been wanting a legit deli-style turkey club sandwich for a long time, and this was it. This was like New York deli style. First of all, it was as tall as my head. It's a true club sandwich where it's the bread, all your fillings, another slice of bread, fillings, another slice of bread, and then they have to keep it together. It's not even a toothpick. It's a giant skewer. It's like a 6-inch skewer.
Yeah.
This thing was 5 inches tall. It was hard to eat, but it was so good. The turkey tasted like a fresh Thanksgiving roasted turkey that somebody then, thin shaved off a bunch of the turkey breast and made the sandwich out of. I absolutely loved it. I would like it to be on their regular menu. I wish they'd gotten a little more inventive for a Halloween menu. They were like, somebody came up with this ghoulishly gourmet burger, right? It's got all this stuff on it and truffle buffalo aioli and a black bun, and it's got an onion ring on top and pepper jack cheese. And then
there was
like,
an onion ring on top, was there?
There was an onion ring on it, on the burger.
On the burger, not on top. You said on top.
Okay, it was on top of the burger, still on the patties.
I thought you meant like
under bun.
Okay.
No, under bun. Not like the jalapeno popper ones, right?
That's
from
when you
Typhoon
said that.
Lagoon.
I'm like, it wasn't on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so we got all done with this, and somebody was like, "Greg, I absolutely love the idea you came up with this burger. What else do you have?" And he's like, "A club sandwich." And they're like, "Okay, how are we going to make it like ghoulish and Halloween?" He's like, "Black bread." They're like, "Okay, what else?" That's it. I'm just going to give black bread. That's it. Like, I wish they would have done something more.
It was still great, though.
It was great. I would have loved this to be like like Hades hot turkey club. And it had maybe like fried jalapenos on it, or maybe just something. But I still loved it, and I hope they put this on their regular menu.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Now they have 2 other additional items.
Yes, they do.
One, okay. When do you drink a milkshake during a meal?
I would at dessert. So I
That's what I
consider
think.
this 2 desserts
I agree.
that we got.
But a lot of people will order like a burger, fries, and a milkshake at the same time. And for I don't know why
some
that
people
seems
dip
so
it,
much. Yeah,
their fries in the milkshake. Mm-hmm.
It's okay. But do people do that outside of Wendy's?
I
feel
have
like
no
Wendy's
idea.
is the one in the frosting.
I never
Most
did it,
people do
period.
Yeah. But so anyway, I think, burger, fries, and if you get a milkshake at the same time, for some reason that seems so much worse than if you get a burger, fries, you eat the whole thing and then you order a milkshake.
Well,
now that I say it out loud, that's much worse because you got through an entire burger and fries and then you had the wherewithal to say, you know what could I use after devouring 2 patties and fries? Why don't I add a milkshake to it? Not only is it a milkshake, it comes with a donut on it. Do you want to read the description?
Yeah, so this is called a graveyard milkshake. It is a chocolate milkshake with a dipped graveyard jelly donut, white chocolate tombstone, gummy candy, and a Haunted Mansion straw, which is sad because the Haunted Mansion straw is not to keep. It is paper and it would just bend and break. So
it should have really been a keepable plastic
I wish it
straw
was.
because we're going to reuse it. We're not going to
Correct.
go feed it to a turtle.
So this is $10. I don't know what was in the chocolate milkshake because it does not have in the description, but there was stuff in it.
It tastes
chunky.
like cookies and cream to me.
Like, no, I think there was granola in it. I don't know, man.
Maybe.
There was some stuff in it. I
it
hope
was
it was
good.
supposed to be
Yeah, it was
because I hate
made, I don't
it.
know. It could have been old.
I don't know if
Could have
somebody
used
dropped
expired
something.
milk.
I don't know if somebody dropped something in there on accident.
That lady was looking for her earrings when I come back and think about it.
Okay. It was really good. The jelly donut was really good. I love
The
jelly.
donut was great.
I do.
It really
I
was,
love
yeah.
a jelly filled donut, like from Dunkin'. If Kaylin ever brings one home, that's the one I like. But this was good. I just didn't eat a ton of it. But what we did get that I was like, I would have eaten this whole thing was the layered pumpkin cake with cream cheese mousse for $8.50.
New this year. All this stuff is new this year,
Yes,
by the way.
it was so good. It was. It's a layered cake. So they bring out a slice, and what is that? 1, 2,
5, 6 layers, maybe.
4 layers.
Yeah.
Where's your photo?
I'll look at it when you talk about it. We'll let people know for sure.
But it's purple and an orange because it's pumpkin inside and then purple on the outside. It is beautiful. It is good. Excuse me. I could have eaten this whole thing, but I did have to share it with Jeremy. You were not looking. You were texting.
Oh, sorry. I was getting a text planning for it's another reason I think I'm fired up and excited. We're this will come out on Friday, but we're doing our weekly live stream tonight that we do every week, and we're going to talk specifically about D23 and the parks and resorts announcements and the parks and experience announcements. And we have some cool special guests that are coming on.
Oh,
And I'm just super excited to chat about it. So
Okay.
I'm in a hyper mood today, but continue with whatever you were saying.
I
and I'll
was
look at it.
done.
Oh, were you? Okay, so it has 4, you were right, 4 layers of cake.
I know I was right.
And 4 layers of icing.
Uh-huh.
This is one of the best pumpkin desserts I've had.
Yes, and since I wish you could just go and be like, can I get this to go, please?
Yeah.
Because I probably would.
I would skip, like you said, I would skip the milkshake.
Absolutely.
And I would save those calories and sweetness for something outside, like we had talked about the s'more cup or about the soft serve sweet corn.
But I would
sundae.
spend the money on
I would
this.
spend it on this. In fact, you know what I wish they did? I wish that they were the other availability for milkshake was them taking this and putting it into a milkshake. So you would have a pumpkin milkshake, but they would actually use the cake in the milkshake.
Okay.
That would be good.
I don't
Trust
know
me.
about that. All right.
I loved this.
Yes, it was.
You
It
know,
was
I
fantastic.
mean, the plaza is very small.
Yes, it is.
I,
And there's some. It looks closed right now, but it is not.
yeah,
it is
because they're redoing the outside
yes,
facade.
Thank you.
I would feel bad going in there with a reservation and taking a table to only eat this cheesecake or this pumpkin cake. But I would probably get over it because I would do that. And I would just tip very well. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I would just, to make it worth you taking up 2 spaces from a cast member, just to eat dessert. Man, this was so
It was really good.
I'd just be like, here's a $20 bill and we'll get out of your hair as soon as possible. Or I would ask if you could get one to go.
Mm-hmm.
That I loved this.
Mm-hmm.
I want it again. All right. We're going to finish. I promise. I was thinking halfway through if we should break this into 2 episodes, but we have a lot coming up. And so I don't want to stretch this out. Let's talk about the Orlando Informer Meetup. First of all, because we're always in transparent in everything we do, we were gifted these tickets.
Yes, we were.
We did not pay for these.
We did not.
I have wanted to go to an Orlando Informer Meetup for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
We have been exiting Universal before. While all the people were coming in,
Mm-hmm.
we had sad faces. They had happy faces because they knew what they were about to experience, which I will start off by saying, even though we were lucky enough that we did not have to pay for it, we were gifted these tickets by a friend of ours. It's the best after hours paid experience that I think possibly has and ever will exist.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I can't get over. And in fact, if you're thinking of going to this,
go.
It is expensive. It roughly they have a bunch coming up November and December. They have most of the weekends in November and December are doing this again.
Okay.
If you do one night, it's Friday and Saturday night. If you do one night, it's going to run you about $250 a person for one night. If you do both nights, it's going to run you more about $400 to $450 per person for the 2 nights.
So about $1,000.
Yeah, about $1,000 for 2 people to go 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
If you can swing that, highly recommend you do both nights.
Mm-hmm. Because you can get in at 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and it runs until 1:30 a.m.
Yeah. Now, the ones coming up, we have ones Friday, November 15th, 22nd, December 6th, and 13th. And then you have them coupled up with Saturdays, November 16th, 23rd, December 7th, and 14th. During those ones, now the only difference with ours, you're allowed to get in 5 p.m. for any of these without a day ticket, annual pass, whatever, right? You're going to go, you're going to check in. They're going to have where the Blue Man Group right there in front of Rip Ride Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Over on the studio side is going to be an entry where you used to go to Blue Man Group.
Okay.
And you're going to walk in and you're actually going to go into a lot of the studios, spaces and set spaces back there. You're going to walk past where the Grinch Hula Day Spectacular goes on, and you're going to walk into one of these big, I just call them hangars. They look like big airplane hangars.
Yeah, they do.
In fact, we waited this was the queue for one of the Halloween Horror Night houses before. And so you wait there, you get all checked in. They give you your wristband. That gives you entry, and that starts at like 3:30. That gives you entry at 5 p.m. into either of the parks.
Correct.
For us, the event officially started at 9 p.m. and ran to 1:30.
Right.
And the parks did not close until 9 p.m.
Right.
Coming up for November and December, on those Fridays, not only will you be able to get in at 5 p.m., but the park will actually close at 7.
Mm-hmm.
It runs till 12:30,
mm-hmm.
so you gain a little bit more time than we did. And if you look at Saturday, you can get in at 5, park closes at 8,
mm-hmm.
and then the event closes at 1:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you get a little extra time for everything. We don't have to spend a ton of time on this. We kind of gave you some of those details. Food, non-alcoholic beverages are all included.
Mm-hmm.
Attractions are all included with shorter wait times. And
mm-hmm.
by shorter, they mean for the most part 0.
Yeah, like ride now. And when they say ride now, like
it means you ride now.
Literally
there aren't wait
walking
times
on.
listed. It says ride now,
right.
Except for Hagrid's, which we waited.
The first night
we
was
waited 35 minutes, and
30,
the second maybe 45,
something like that.
Yeah.
And we rode twice on the first night
because it broke down.
And then the second night.
Also,
no, I think the second night was shorter,
which people found ridiculous. We broke down the first as our first
Lord
ride on
of
Hagrid.
Mercy. We were around some not happy people.
Some poopy pants.
We were happy.
It's our first ride on Hagrid in probably I'd say over 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you know Hagrid's, the part where you back up before the major, I'll just like spoiler. I won't say what it is in case you have not ridden and you don't know. There's a part in this ride that I think you could ride it 10 times a day for the rest of your life. And on your dying day, this part you would still go, how in the heck did they do this?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yep.
When we're sitting there during this moment, it still gives me those same butterflies that I get going in a Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So we get stuck in this room, and as we're backing into it, the lights are on.
Yeah, it was super weird.
And we get stuck halfway through to the next point. And we were probably stuck there for, again, 5 or 10 minutes, you know.
Really not majorly
Wasn't bad.
long.
And it was neat to me.
It was ditto.
But we still, all of a sudden, you had a train full of people screaming out, "This is ridiculous. Some of us have to pee." Something like, guys, come on, man.
And cursing.
Now,
and
I will say, the amount of money that these people did spend, I do understand that time is of the essence.
I agree.
And it's not as though they were speaking these directly to team members. And when we
They're
got
just
to
yelling.
the end, team members came up and said, if you would like to ride again, head straight. We had to exit the bike.
Yeah.
They said, head straight down that hallway.
Yeah.
They will put you immediately back on the ride,
And
which
they
you and I
did.
did, and we rode again.
Yep.
Then we rode it the second night.
But the people that were yelling and were not happy,
They left.
they left.
Yeah.
And they said, would you like to ride again? She was like, oh, God, no.
Yeah, like it was going to get stuck again.
Like, I don't know what. Like, I'm
And
like,
if it had gotten stuck
It was
again,
a
I'd have been
great-
like, wee, this is neat. I'm seeing like behind the scenes stuff. Nobody's.
Yeah.
It was lit up in that room. And if you know what that room is like, you want to see it lit up.
It's super
It's like
cool.
seeing Space Mountain lit up, right?
Yep. It was super cool.
So, as Rhonda said, everything else says ride now, and they're not kidding. The
Like,
only
to the-
wait is walking from the entrance
Yes.
to get on the ride
I just
vehicle.
started to say, to the point.
For most
yes.
everything we did,
Yes.
including, I've never gotten
Velocicoaster.
through security at Velocicoaster in the lockers and not stop my feet from moving until I put them on the ride. You know, like it was
Yeah.
unbelievable. We did so much. We rode so much.
You ate
All
so much.
food is included. Okay.
And when he says all food,
because
I mean,
here's the thing, right?
this
All
is
food
amazing.
is included at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, right? You get some treats, right? You get some cookies, you
No,
get some hot
You don't
chocolate.
get food. You get treats.
is
You don't get.
full
This is food.
Meals. Let me just read through a few things from the brochure. There's separate brochures for each night. So let's talk about the food on the first or second night, for example, right? First of all, from 3:30 to 7:30 in that big check-in area, you get arrival bites.
Yeah, that was cool.
Right? So you got pretzels, you got egg fried rice, you got vegetable spring rolls, bacon smoked macaroni and cheese cups, outstanding. Cottage pie,
we tried that.
Vegan pie, nachos, hot dogs, chili bar, and their non-alcoholic cowboy punch.
That was good.
There's a guy with a bag of soft pretzels walking around just handing them out willy-nilly to whoever wants them.
Willy-nilly.
Right? It's amazing, okay? Most of the dining then is going to open at 10 p.m.
Right.
The park was closing at 10. They have an hour to convert over
But they
to get everything ready.
But they have two places that open at 9.
at each studio side and island side.
Yes.
So, for example, over on island side, it was Burger Digs and Marvel Superhero
That opened
Island.
at 9.
Yeah, it opened at 9. And then over on the studio side, we had Richter's Burger Company and we had Cafe La Bamba.
Mm-hmm.
Most every location for dining is open.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as though you're going into, for example, Marvel Superhero Island in Cafe 4
Mm-hmm.
and you're getting pizza and they're taking a large pizza and cutting it into, 36 slices, right? You get a little sliver of pizza,
No, you get
a full
big,
size
giant
slice of pizza,
Yeah.
right? You get a full bowl, just say a fettuccine Alfredo,
Mm-hmm.
full breadstick. You go into just say Richter's. They give you a full cardboard boat with burger and fries,
Yep.
all full size.
Yep.
Went into Thunder Falls Terrace. They had plates with a half chicken, 2 ribs. I think it had rice. It had half an ear of corn. And it had potatoes,
Mhm.
all in one plate.
And then all your snack carts, like where you can get churros, turkey legs, popcorn,
Sodas, waters,
What's the other things?
all of them included. Everything included.
And the oh my gosh, pretzels again.
Pretzels again. You could walk by a kiosk, go up and just go. First of all, 2, there's some lines. They're not crazy lines. You could walk by a kiosk, walk up and say, I would like a pretzel and a soda. It's yours. Walk away.
Yep.
It's already paid
Now, what
for.
was crazy is it's all paid for and everything, but they were calculating and to see the like
thousands of dollars.
thousands
They're
of
typing in
dollars.
every single
Yep.
order into the register, and it's keeping a running
Yep.
total and tab.
So it's crazy.
And it was neat to
I
see.
think the best thing that was open was Cinnabon.
This is where a majority of the 5 pounds that I gained last week, and I actually did.
You did.
I had done some work and lost a couple pounds leading up to this, and I gained it all back. I gained 5 pounds during this trip.
Cinnabon, and it's not like the mini Cinny. Sunny, or however you say them.
Yeah.
They were the full Cinnabons.
Yeah. Which if you ever had one are the size of a beanbag chair.
They're not the size of a beanbag.
They're pretty close. That's what Jim Gaffigan. He's like, do I sit in it or eat it?
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe I'll sit in it and eat it.
So the first night we walked away with one. And we ate most of it,
and the
then
little Cinna-Sticks.
threw them away.
Yeah,
but they had
right?
they were cinnamon donuts basically with cream cheese, and I was like, I'm saving this for the next morning.
Yeah.
So we did on Saturday. The next morning, I had with my coffee that. Well, when we were leaving Saturday night, I was like, we're going back to Cinnabon, and we're gonna get one and take home on Sunday. Or have it Sunday morning with coffee, because we were getting up to come home immediately because the kids had school and we had a lot of things to do on Sunday. So not only did we each get a Cinnabon, but we ate a few bites of it Saturday night. We then took a whole one home, brought it to the girls, cut it in half. They immediately ate it, warmed it up.
Okay, you said we ate half of it Saturday night. When did we eat the other half?
Oh, the rest of it
on
Sunday
the ride
morning.
Home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sunday morning.
We did.
In
the car.
We got two.
Yeah, we did.
So it was fantastic. This was amazing. This is something that, this was our first time. We really didn't know too much about it. Jeremy did, I guess. I get home on a work night and he's standing there, which he never does. And he's
this
like,
was Tuesday, by the way.
Yeah. And he's
we
like,
were leaving on Thursday.
Hey. And I'm like, hey. And I usually always come home and I'm like, hey, how was your day? And he's like, fine. And he doesn't really say much, but he was standing there and he's like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And he's like,
followed by, what do you want?
Yeah. I was like, well, okay, what? And he was like, we have to stay Saturday night. And I was like, why? Because his kids were having school and we were just pretty much trying to go for Thursday, Friday. And he was like, so we were given these tickets. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm really glad we did. And this was neat because when Jeremy started posting about it, we've seen some people that were like, this is the only way to do Universal. And
they're not wrong.
They're not. And I know the prices are expensive, but if you think about everything that you get, and like I said, you can take a Cinnabon home and eat it the next day or whatever. I mean, there's just so much that you get that it's totally worth the price.
Yeah.
And if you still are a drinker, I know there's non-alcoholic, but there is plenty of alcohol around the parks.
They set up pop-up bars, and you have to pay for these, but they set up pop-up bars, full bars, along with all of the regular bars, so you could go into a Finnegan's or whatever and get drinks. I don't know if this is a bold statement or not. The Orlando Informer Meetup is the best paid after-hours event you can do in Central Florida.
Probably.
I haven't done them all, but I guarantee it is. In fact, I would say it is one of the top 3 events that you can probably do. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a theme park enthusiast, Orlando Informer Meetup is your Super Bowl.
Yeah. This was great.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
And, if we had paid for the tickets, and I bet we will in the future because we will want to do this again, it would have been worth every penny.
Yep.
If you are the type that is going on your Disney vacation, especially when you're from overseas and you spend a lengthy time here, you have a lot of people that want to split with Universal. If an Orlando Informer Meetup is going on during the time, I would potentially look at making that your Universal visit. You know what I mean? We ended up staying at Dockside for the Saturday night. $127 for the night is crazy. That was a Florida resident rate. I just can't get over, I'll go back to some of those times where I've talked about like a California grill, right? And you go, well, everybody, because like you said, when I said we were going, people came out of the woodwork going, this is the best thing ever. You're going to love it. It's amazing. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, great. Everybody's blown this thing up so much. There's no way it's that good. It is that good and more.
Yep.
It is worth every single penny and every single calorie that you are going to consume because you will want to consume all of them.
Oh yeah, ice cream too at
ice cream
in Harry Potter.
Yep. Butterbeer.
Oh yeah, butterbeer.
I like butterbeer now.
Yeah, I
did not like it before because it was way too sweet, and I actually really enjoyed this. Yeah. We did the frozen one night, and then we did a regular the other night, didn't we? Just frozen. Really, really good. But yeah, you just walk.
Get a butterbeer,
walk,
get in line at Haggard's, and then boom, there you go.
Your night is made.
Perfect.
Loved it.
It's great.
Highly recommend.
Yep.
Go out, check you can go to meetup.orlandoinformer.com. You can get all the information for the ones coming in November and December. I don't know if we'll see you there or not. Maybe, who knows? But we have a very busy November, December, so those ones might not be on the books. But yeah, so that's all I got to say about that. That was it.
All right. That was very long. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yes, thank you. Hopefully this was still informative, maybe a little entertaining. I had fun. I don't know if Rhonda did.
I always do.
She was doing that thing, where you put your hand like in circles, like wrap it up, dude. I'm kidding. She was excited. All right. That's it. And if you want to hear, Rhonda doesn't even know this, but we have a special guest on Tuesday. I do.
Ooh.
For our August Journey into Imagination. The wonderful John from Love Our Life vlog. And we get a little bit more detailed into specifics of content creation and some equipment, things like that. But it is super fascinating.
Nice.
This is my first time talking with John. He was introduced me by our mutual friend, John Self.
Nice.
And John was like, this John is a good guy. And so I was like, you know what? Let's have him on.
Awesome.
And John is amazing. Hopefully you'll get to meet him in person, Food and Wine Weekend, because he will be out there, and hopefully we'll get to meet him and his wonderful wife, Angie. But he's super cool. So you got that coming Tuesday. We got a lot of plans coming up. You're going to get reviews of Mickey's Not So Scary when we go coming up. Jollywood Nights we're going to. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. We got Halloween Horror Nights coming up here in September that we will be going to. So if you want all that information and more, you can follow us on social at Main ST Magic. Of course, you can hit that subscribe button and get the brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. They are not all as long as this one. We would be thankful, though, unless it's something like, hey, that was too long, if you would leave us a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
I think that's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.